You are listening to the Horse Radio Network, part of the Equine Network family.
Welcome to the PHOD Pod, the Practical Horseman podcast minisode series where we share audio clips from our favorite Practical Horseman On Demand videos. At Practical Horseman On Demand, you can enjoy hundreds of how-to videos and get insider access to exclusive interviews and lectures, slow motion demonstrations, and step-by-step tutorials taught by top-level pros in the hunter, jumper, equitation, and eventing disciplines. Head over to practicalhorsemanondemand.com and use promo code PHODPOD for 15% off when you sign up. That's practicalhorsemanondemand.com and promo code PHODPOD. That's PHOD for 15% off. On this week's episode, the late and great Jim Wofford gives a lecture about horses' vision and balance, including the horse's eye and their line of sight. He goes on to talk about martingales and the concept of being on the bit, and how this can sometimes inhibit the jump. Wofford brings us back around to how, in the pursuit of contact or frame, riders can inadvertently disadvantage their horse's natural balance for the job at hand. Before we dive into the clip, I'd like to thank the sponsor of this PHOD Pod episode, US Rider, and share their message. Whether you're headed across the country or just down the road, you can be traveling with peace of mind knowing that you and your horse are protected by US Rider's 24/7 roadside assistance coverage. From lockouts and jump starts to towing and stabling, veterinarian, and farrier referrals, US Rider ensures a breakdown won't leave you stranded. Join today and save 15% off with code USRPH at usrider.org. Now, enjoy the clip.
The horse points his nose at what he wants to see in focus. This isn't me saying this. This is the veterinarians and the scientists saying this. This is me repeating this. But you and I have to now apply this to what we do with horses. Remember, we said we want the horse to see the jump. Well, yeah, Jim, you're crazy. You're wasting my time. Okay. Then how does the horse see? Well, he pokes his nose to see in focus. Okay. What does that scientific knowledge now do to the training theory that we must bring the horse to the jump on the bit? When the jump is out there. And you'll find that the more insistent the trainer is, this horse must approach and stay on the bit. He must stay in flexion. We apply dressage training principles completely to the horse when it is jumping. They don't understand what the horse is doing. They don't understand the horse in nature. They haven't read the science and connected it to what we do. We should not try and bring the horse to the jump on the bit. By on the bit, you and I mean that the plane of the face is roughly vertical to level ground. We must bring the horse to the jump on the connection. Okay, Santini and others say that the horse at the gallop and the approach to the jump, left alone in the head and neck, will carry his nose at about a 45-degree angle to the ground. And I find that's roughly true. Horses are idiosyncratic about it. Some of them carry it a little higher, some a little lower, but humans carry their eyes a little differently. And I think those are just individual reactions from the horse. But once the horse is at liberty, I notice, not at liberty, once the horse is in a comfortable position, even though we are in connection, much of that resistance goes away. Because the horse has not been saying, I hate you, I'm going to misbehave. He's been saying, boss, if you let me look at the jump, I'll do a better job. And much of that resistance will go away when we ride the horse to the jump in connection, on connection, not on the bit. We use the same aids. We close the fingers of one hand. The horse in a jumping frame turns in the direction that we want. He slows down. He speeds up. All of the signals are there, but the throat latch should be open. Okay? So you will now see that as we go into the jumping phase, that sometimes I will adjust martingales. I don't mind running martingales, but almost everyone uses their martingales as a draw rein on the mouth. They have it too short, so they just walk out, and the reins go down to the martingale back up, and the horse hasn't even lifted his head and neck yet. It's dragging the horse's shape rather than rounding the horse's shape.
Thanks for listening to this PHOD Pod minisode, and thanks again to our sponsor, US Rider. Learn more at usrider.org. For unlimited access to more lessons like this, sign up for Practical Horseman On Demand at practicalhorsemanondemand.com and use promo code PHODPOD, that's PHOD, POD, to get 15% off. Thanks again for listening.